Hi everyone, welcome back to Nails by Sora. Apologize if I'm a little muffled. I'm wearing my mask because I'm going to be using dip liquids and I don't really want to inhale the fumes. But this is the look I'm going for today. It's a mix of 3 different dip powders and one gel overlay, which is this bluish green opal, which I thought looked really nice with the flat colors. I was originally going to keep them flat, but I felt it needed a little something to zhuzh it up, so to speak. So this is what we're going to be doing today. I did already do my nails, prep them with a new set of tips and builder gel overlay last night. The tips are adhered with Manny Boss dip base coat, since I'm trying to keep gel away from direct contact with my nails. I did want to just do a gel overlay though to make sure that the nails were secure while I was at work today. So we'll see how that works out. Hopefully I don't have any issues. But I'm going to go in and I'm going to buff the surface of my nails so that I can smooth it out a little bit. I do have some unevenness and some, not bulging, but pooling of the gel at the tips. So I want to take that profile down, and then I'm going to get into the manicure. Okay, so I filed my nails. I quickly just want to dust off any residue from my nail, and then I'm going to take a stiff brush, one of these, and I'm going to coat it with some alcohol, and then lightly brush off the surface of my nails, just to make sure that there's no residue that's going to inhibit the dip liquid and the gel, dip liquid and the powder from sticking well. Get underneath the nails. And then I'm going to use a lint-free wipe just to wipe the surface. All right, so we're good to go. These are the colors that I'm using. I've got Patriotic, they're all Sparkle & Co. colors. Believe me, I do have other brands that I use, but I've got so many Sparkle & Co. colors that I haven't used that I want to really dedicate some time to them. So I've got Patriotic, I've got Parlour Beauty, and then I have Sass-Sea. And this hand has 2 fingers of Patriotic and 1 of Sass-Sea, so I'm going to alternate with my right hand and do 2 fingers of Sass-Sea and 1 of Patriotic. So I'm going to start though with the one that makes a little bit more of a mess, and that's the one with the glitter in it. So I'm going to move these out of the way and put this right in front of me. So I do have it in cupcake liners, even though I am going to be dipping and not pouring over. I want to make sure that any fall off goes into the cup so I can pour it back into the container, and not on my desk surface. Today I'm going to be using Sora Beauty liquids, as I usually do, because they're my favorite for dipping. As I said earlier, I used Manny Boss to adhere my tips, and that's because it's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit faster drying, and I've been having some difficulty the past 2 times I attached tips with dip liquid of getting them to stay in place without air bubbles, and I had quite a bit of lifting last time when I used Vivid Glam Co. And the time before that I used Sora Beauty. So I remembered that I had used Manny Boss in the past, so I ordered some more, and we'll see how that goes. So right now I'm just dipping in. I'm going to pat it down lightly with my finger to make sure it's even, and then I'm just going to put a little bit more on top to soak up any wet spots that might be hanging out on the nail. I'm going to skip over my other nails for now, and I'm going to move on to my ring fingers since it's going to be the same color. I'm going to take the liquid and I'm going to push it towards the cuticle and draw away towards the free edge. Make sure that you get the side walls. And then go in at an angle. You can push your finger forward slightly if some of the powders are a little bit more dense, especially ones like this that contain mica. So if you have trouble pushing your finger all the way in, just tilt the jar towards you and push it up onto the cuticle edge. So I'm just going to lay my finger back in the top to pick up a little bit more color. Gently pat it down. Tap, tap, tap. Wipe, wipe, wipe. And then move this off to the side to move on to the next color. So, right, I'm gonna move on to Sass-Sea and do my pointer and my pinky. Moving this one out of the way and moving on to Patriotic. All right, now technically my thumb and my ring finger are good to go. I could brush it off now and move on to doing the second coat, but I want to make sure that the other nails are dry first because I don't want to take the risk of damaging them. So I'm going to wait for 2 minutes for the other nails to dry, and then I'm going to brush them all off at the same time. All right, so my other brush has alcohol on it, so I'm going to use this brush to clean off the nails. And I'm not going to dig into the nail, I'm just going to lightly brush from cuticle to free edge. I'm going to get underneath the nails, and I'm going to move on and do my ring finger. And that's because I have residue now on this brush from the mica powder, and I don't want to drag it onto the other nails. Okay, I'm just going to brush it off with my other hand, and then I'm going to move on to my pointer finger, middle finger, and ring finger. All right, now we're ready to do the second coat. I'm going to proceed the same way that I did the first time. Do the mica powdered one first, move on to my pointer finger and my pinky, and then my middle finger. Now make sure, since this is the second coat, more likely than not, you're going to be dragging color onto the brush. Before you put it back into the bottle, you want to wipe off the brush on the lint-free wipe or a paper towel. All right, so I waited another few minutes and let my nails dry, and now I'm going in and I'm brushing them clean. I'm starting off with the matte nails, and now I'm going to go in with, go into the, the non-matte, for lack of a better word at the moment. And go underneath my nails and make sure that I get all of the extra pigment off. Now I did push the liquid a little bit when I dipped this finger in, so I've got a little bit of rippling, but I'm going to take care of that when I file. So you just want to be careful that you don't put too much liquid on the nail and that you don't push too forcefully into the dip powder. One way to avoid that is to pour over, but I wasn't really in the mood for doing that tonight. So it's fine, I can fix it. Right now, I'm just going to gently cleanse the nail, but only because I got some glitter on my pointer finger, and I don't want to cure that into the nail once I put the activator on. So I'm just going to take some alcohol and gently cleanse the nail. And now I'm going to go in with activator. I'm going to be extra generous on my thumb and my ring finger, and that's because it's more pigmented and I want to make sure that it's fully saturated. So I'm going to do 2 coats right now. Clean the brush, go onto my ring finger, wipe off the brush really well before going on to my pointer finger, middle, and pinky. Now I'm just going to go in with an extra coat on my thumb and my ring finger, just to make sure it's gets enough liquid. I'm going to let this sit for 3 minutes, and then I'm going to go in and lightly file this bulge out from where I pushed the liquid. I'm going to reshape the nail slightly around the cuticle line and the free edge, and then we're going to go into the next step of finishing off the nails. So it took me a little bit longer than anticipated because I accidentally dug the edge of the nail file into this nail. So I had to file it down a little bit and put on another layer of dip. But that's okay, it happens. I'm just going to redefine the profile of this nail a little bit more because it's a little bit rough and ragged. I do have some striping in the nail, but I think that's just that'll be hidden by the dip layer, gel layer. But I am going to go in and cleanse the surface of the nail to remove any dust again. At this point, if you were going to finish with dip liquids, you would put another generous layer of activator on, and then you would go in with dip top coat. But I'm going to go in with some gel. So I'm going to start off with a gel base coat. I'm using Madam Glam, and I'm just going to proceed as I normally would when doing a finishing with gel liquids. Make sure you cap the free edge. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to cure my thumb, at least for 20 seconds, just to make sure it's flash cured so that the gel doesn't move around on the nail. Now to go in with the rest of the nails, I'm going to do it the same way. Now you can turn your hand upside down. What this is going to do is it's going to pull all the gel towards the apex so that it doesn't flood the cuticle and you get that nice doming effect on the top of your nail. Turn it back over and cure your whole hand the rest of the way. This is called Under Pressure, and it is a peacock color by Madame Glam. It's opalescent. You can see the different opal flakes in the swatch on top of the cap. And I'm just going to do a quick swipe of it over 3 of my fingers. Now, since it is on a light color, they're not going to be as prominent as they otherwise would on a darker color. So it's great that you can use this one polish and achieve different effects depending upon what color background you use. Just gonna take my my art brush with a little bit of alcohol and clean up around the free edge because I went over a little bit. And now I'm going to do another 60-second cure. Last step is to top coat, and that's going to be the end of the manicure. Gonna, as always, make sure I cap my free edges after I remove the hair. And you want to make sure that you always do your thumb independent from the rest of your hand. And that's because your thumb lies sideways. And you don't want the gel to flow towards your free edge and flood your cuticles. Not your free edge, your sidewalls. So after I cure this, I'm going to go in and do the rest of my hand, and I'll be back to wrap up. As always, I'm going to go in with some cuticle oil. I'm using Brownie Batter by Sparkle & Co. because as a pastry chef, how can I not use brownie batter? I mean, it would be insane. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously, it was an amalgamation of a few different techniques between the dip powder and the gel base and top coat with the opal overlay. But I hope it was clear and that I didn't create too many questions. But if you do have any questions or comments or suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. All the products will be listed in the description box. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by. I don't know, this video kind of felt off for me. I felt very, drawl, and this is what you do, and this is step A and B and C. And I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of out of it a little bit today, but please do give me a like and a subscribe. Thank you, as always, for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.